All right, should we? You guys ready? Everybody peed and everything, you know.
Yep, should be fantastic. On to Sam going. All right.
All right. I haven't done that for quite a while.
Yeah, right.
All right, guys. Welcome to episode 21 of
Hold on, I gotta pee.
I hate you. Episode 21 of the Life Short and Live Free podcast. It is Sunday afternoon. It's colder than bejesus outside. And
What in the fuck was that?
what was that?
Probably just blew somebody's speakers with that.
That hurt my ears.
I'll do a little bit of editing
We
on
should
that.
probably start
Boy.
over.
It is.
Now we're good.
It is Sunday afternoon. It's colder than bejesus out. There's a high of
0.
Colder than hell today. And we're already in Vegas mode. We're headed to Vegas on Tuesday
Dude, I've been in Vegas mode for the last 2 weeks.
for SHOT Show. So we're kind of today. Yeah, we're all kind of out of it a little bit today. But this podcast is sponsored by Shyworks, certified Cerakote applicators. Give us a shout, shyworks.com, facebook.com/shyworks. You can find us, and we can pretty much do whatever you want. So give us a shout. Yeah, so how's you guys' weekend going? Anybody?
So good.
Bueller?
No, I spent yesterday inside, like the rest of the Midwest probably, downing every home remedy that I can think of, trying to get rid of this cold before SHOT Show.
I took an hour and a half to drive home yesterday morning, and it was only 38 miles.
I spent a good amount of time outside snowballing and scooping my freaking... I did Friday, and then, of course, it blew in like a sumbitch, so I had to freaking snowblow it all again. But then I kind of took it easy yesterday since we're doing this all day today. I figured, I'd have a little off day, so I just kind of relaxed a little bit after I got done scooping.
I scooped this morning. There was 6 inches of snow underneath my car, like the entire way. I'm going to have to scoop underneath my car when I get back.
Dude,
That's how much it was blowing. I was
there
like,
was
what the
snow
hell?
up in my engine housing on my pickup. So, because it just sits there when I'm using my work truck. And so I left my house last night at about 5 to come into Kingsley and do some errands quick and then go down to the local watering hole and watch the fights. And I got about 2 miles from my house and was like, wait, what's happening? My throttle connections had frozen in the wide open position. And it was not good. We'll put it that way. If I hadn't had it in 4-wheel drive, I think I would have just spun in a circle and went in the ditch. I had to get out and reach back up in there and just jimmy those things about 10, 15 times, and finally they came unstuck, but it was pretty iffy.
That's nice.
Sounds like a pretty safe situation you got going there, Tony.
Yeah, then I went to leave the bar, which, by the way, I was completely and totally sober. And I was.
Just kidding.
I thought you'd be proud of me.
Go on. I am proud of you.
And my damn car wouldn't start because this cable that comes from the starter and hooks up to the positive terminal of the battery is a little bit corroded. So we finally got that fixed, but it didn't start this morning.
So what do you got there? What do you got there, Toad? A Ford?
Yes, Sam. A Ford I've owned since 2006, and the only thing I've ever had to do to it was put a new starter in it.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Didn't you have to put a new transmission in that Chevy of yours?
Yeah, she's had a new...
That whole truck needs replaced.
She's had a new tranny, a fuel pump, and an alternator. And I've had it for about 10 years, so...
I like it when people call it an alternator. Really enunciate the R. Alternator.
What did I say?
That's what you said. Alternator.
That's what it's...
I know.
Can you read?
Yeah, I know that's how it's spelled. I think it's funny when people call it that, though.
I pronounce it a little different because my dad's a little bit of a redneck, and it's alternator.
That's how I've always been.
Alternator. Alternator.
That's how I'm familiar with it.
It's ALT-nator.
Well, I guess we might as well. There's no need to put off doing the whiskey of the week. Now, this one is actually one we didn't have a whiskey of the week, and I was just happened to be fishing around in one of my cabinets, and I'm making chili this afternoon, so I was looking for tomatoes. Well, I didn't find any, but I did find a special jar of stuff. And I don't know who gave it to me or when I got it,
It's probably Clem.
but I'm pretty sure it's apple pie moonshine.
When she poured up that moonshine.
Oh, yeah. We got all sorts of...
Wow.
I hate you so much right now.
Sorry, I had to. But actually, I've been drinking on it for a while, and it's really freaking good.
Yeah,
right?
there's literally about 3 shots left in the mason jar, which was completely full before you got a hold of it.
You are correct. Yeah, so you guys better, if you want some, you better try some because it's good.
I just will hear an assessment on it.
I think it's probably pretty potent. And it's damn good.
It's probably been in that cabinet for about 5 years.
I think it's been at least since I've lived here, and I've lived here 3 years, so it's 2 to 3 years it's been in there, I'm sure. So it's pretty delicious. Box is over there.
I don't need much.
Box is over there drinking hot toddies because he's sick.
That's
so
enough.
easy on the wood there, Captain. So yeah, guys, take a little sample. Tell me what you think. Pretty Toad, it's a sipping.
Boy.
That's actually really good.
Toad, it's a sipping.
Yeah, tastes
drink.
like apple pie moonshine.
Oh, cool. I didn't realize there was a cinnamon stick in the bottom. So it's going to get more potent the farther
It's
we
been
go.
aging.
Yeah, it's so how, what do you rate it out of 1 to 10?
22.
Solid. Solid. So this is going to be going up on the
I was going to go with 42 because it's obviously the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
What the f*** does that mean?
God, you've never read or seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
No.
I have. I watched it a while back, actually. It's a pretty good movie.
What's the answer to life? 42.
Yeah, that's 42.
That
Yeah.
does sound familiar, actually.
That's actually a really good movie. I enjoyed it.
No, it's pretty good. It's normally when you drink apple pie moonshine, there's a bit of a backbite because they make it with Everclear, but there's no backbite to that. It's pretty dangerous. I'm going to go with a solid 7.92.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna go 10 out of 10. Could you improve on this alcoholic drink in any way, shape, or form?
It could be stronger.
Well, I've drank like half of it, and I can already feel it's pretty potent. I bet.
Yeah, but it would be better if you were like falling down by now.
Well, here, let me drink the rest of it, and I'll see what I can do for you.
We don't want to drink so much that we get gut rot. We want to be.
It's not a gut rot.
That's
type,
the reason I didn't give it a 10 out of 10 because I can see myself getting the gut rot.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 would drink again. Sorry, I better turn my freaking
Was that your phone or is that the computer?
No,
That
it was-
sounded like a computer sound.
No, it was just my phone. I got an email. Sorry.
You're stupid.
Sorry, forgot to turn it off.
Stupid.
So what we were doing at the bar last night, we were watching UFC. What number was it? 246 or some shit like that. 247. Connor McGregor, the infamous Connor McGregor, was back in action.
It's the Notorious.
Notorious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, I don't pay too much attention to UFC. But he was back in action against Cowboy. Cowboy's real name's like Donald
Cerrone.
Donald Cerrone.
Donald Cerrone or Donald Cerrone. I can't remember how they pronounce it, but yeah.
But so everybody Cowboy was obviously the underdog. McGregor was favored pretty heavily. But if you, it was 40 seconds and the fight was done, over with.
I was very disappointed, not with how the fight turned out. That was pretty insane. I mean, those are some hard-ass hits he gave him. I was disappointed in the fact that I looked forward to it for the entire week, and I got to the bar at 6:30, drank freaking non-alcoholic beer because we were still in a blizzard warning, and I sat there from 6:30 till damn near midnight for that fight. It lasted 40 seconds. God.
Kind of like the first time he had sex. He waited all this time and it lasts 40
It
seconds.
was at least 3 minutes.
At least 3 minutes.
But yeah, as soon as the fight ended, I looked at Sam. I was like, "Well, I'm going home."
Yeah. So I was hoping McGregor would get his ass handed to him. To be 100% honest with you, I used to be a McGregor fan, but the last few years, all the bullshit he's pulled. He threw that bus knocked the window out of that bus with that chair, just being a douche canoe.
Punched that old guy in that bar in Dublin.
Yeah, and just general douchebaggery.
He punched an old guy in a bar in Dublin.
Yeah. was all over the news. I was actually impressed with him last night. And he was actually somewhat humble, and I wouldn't say fairly, but he's somewhat humble. And then he gave Cowboy props. He's like, Donald, you're a legend in this sport. You know, most fights in UFC history, I think he said, and whatnot. And then like hugged Donald's mom and what. I mean,
yeah,
he wasn't his normal dickish
He wasn't his usual douchey self. So I mean, that helped a little bit, but yeah, it's just too bad it only lasted 40 seconds. I was looking forward to a good fight. And
Dan Bilzerian had a photo on Facebook like a couple hours before the fight, and it said just putting some pocket change on Cowboy, and he had $1 million in cash on the table, and then a baggie of like change. And this morning I read he lost $1 million in 40 seconds. It's like, well, shit.
Boy.
Well, the odds are. So he was betting on Cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
So he bet $1 million. If he would have won, I think the odds were like 2.4 to 1 or something like that. So if he would have won, he would have won like $240 million or something like that. Is that how that works? I'm pretty sure.
I don't know, but that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
Because
2.4, wouldn't he have
2.4? What did I say? 240 million?
Yeah,
I'm 2.4 million.
Big difference there.
You guys know how retarded I am. I don't talk good. So
apparently you don't math good either.
I knew what I was trying to say. It just didn't come out right. So I got a story on that for you guys that you're gonna immensely enjoy, I feel like. So obviously when I'm talking to guys on the phone, you know, back and forth, we do a lot of design work and stuff, figuring out what they want on their guns.
Oh, I thought you were talking about dates.
No.
He can't talk on those either.
You guys are hilarious. So I'll be back and forth with them. You know, we'll be on a first name basis, and then when we meet, it always goes the same way. You know, they'll walk in the shop. I'll be like, "Hi, I'm Sam. Hi, I'm Steve," or whatever your name is, and that's how it always goes. We shake hands, and I mean, I've done this dozens, hundreds of times now, and it always goes the exact same way. So I had to get fitted for new bunker gear the other day for the fire department, and so the lady in charge of that from where we got it done at, she's calling me. You know, we were back and forth figuring out when to meet and everything. And for some reason, I had it in my head that that's just the same way that the meeting is going to go. You know, I'll just walk up. Hi, I'm Sam. Hi, I'm Shelly. But so I walk out the door down to the fire station. She walks up and she's walking up to me and says, "Hi, Sam," and shakes my hand. And that just totally fucked my entire world up. Like, because that's not how this is supposed to go. That's not how I've done it hundreds of times. So I just kind of stumbled around for a couple seconds. I was like, literally just babbling absolutely nothing. And as I shook her hand, I'm like, "I'm Sam." And she's just like, looks at me like, "No shit, Sherlock. I just called you Sam." I'm just like, oh my God.
Are you legally special in the head?
Probably.
Sometimes I think you may be more socially awkward than I am. I've never pulled shit like that. That's for sure.
I was actually impressed with myself last night because I stayed in my seat at the bar next to Sam the entire time, and I usually
that rarely happens.
I usually don't do it. I'll see somebody I know, and I just I'm one of those people that knows a lot of people all over the place, and it used to drive Sam a little nuts. It drives my girlfriend insane because I'll go somewhere and I'll see somebody I know and start shooting the shit, and they're like, "Who is that?" Like, can't remember their name, but you know, one of those things. But
yeah, so I just was stumbling all over, and it seems to be that it's getting worse anymore. Maybe I have a brain tumor or something.
Nah, you're just getting older.
You're just plain stupid,
idiotic some days.
You should talk your boss into giving you one of them their liberal mental health days.
Yeah, well, you know, I figure he's letting me go to Vegas, so I'll just count it as a win for that. So, yeah. Speaking of Vegas, I'm so freaking excited to get out of this damn weather and get down in some decent. It's supposed to be in the mid 60s down there, I believe.
I believe you were
mid 60s and sunny.
Well, that is going to be a damn good time. I'm not going to complain about that at all. I wish it was a little bit warmer so we could like hit a pool or something, but you know, it is what it is. I can't complain too much.
We can still hit a pool.
They're probably actually like heated year round down there. I don't know.
I bet there's some.
Maybe. I mean, we could look into it. Of course, we're all our freaking white sons of bitches. You know, I haven't been tanning for months, so.
One of us is only slightly smaller than a whale. It's me.
It's the great white whale.
We'll be back from Vegas by the time this is released.
Yeah. Yes, we will.
So
I believe so.
You'll probably know everything already because we'll be releasing videos damn near every day down there. So you've probably seen everything that we've done in Vegas.
Yeah, so I guess we don't got to cover it.
If you see what Box does after SHOT Show in Vegas, don't be too afraid or offended or grossed out.
What are you talking about?
Prostitutes, Sam. I'm talking about prostitutes.
There's a lot of them.
There's a
lot of them down
the
there.
$15 kind.
Yeah, those are the ones you want to avoid. Have you guys seen this RTS Trigger Shield?
Mm-mm.
So what it is, it fits on your AR.
It's god awful, is what it is.
And it must replace the trigger pins, and so it covers up your trigger on the AR. And then when you want to shoot, you just slide your finger up, and it pops it open so you can fit your finger in the trigger guard.
That right there is going to get someone murdered,
right?
Well,
so that's if you have to slide your finger up, that's totally undoing all the discipline that you already have to keep your index finger up on the frame.
Right. So it says the first of its kind. It's designed to prevent.
It's the first of its kind because it's awful.
It's designed to prevent unintentional contact with the trigger. Even the most highly trained weapon operators are killed and injured by the negligent discharge of firearms. No amount of training can safeguard against unintentional firearm discharge. Yes, it 100%, 100% absolutely can. Sorry,
except ingraining it into your fucking training that you turn it on safe every single time.
Well, I mean, that's just a completely false statement. No amount can safeguard against unintentional firearms discharge. Yes, it can. 100%. Training, that's exactly what training is for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that doesn't friggin' happen. So anyway, they're trying to say that this is I think it's a solution to a non-existent problem, to be 100% honest with you. And that's just another, so like say it's on your AR and say you're using your weapon for self-defense and it's on safe. So what you have to do on a typical AR is all you got to do is knock it off safe and pull the trigger. You're good to go. Well, on this, you got to knock it off safe, squiggle your finger up in the trigger guard.
I think he said squiggle.
Make, you know, so it adds a completely and totally unnecessary step to it.
Time out. Is this only... Does this cover both sides? Are both sides hinged?
I think so.
Yeah, if it doesn't, it's pretty much pointless, isn't it?
Right?
Well, it's pointless anyway, but...
It doesn't say.
It's one of those gimmicky things that dads who buy their kids DPMS oracles are going to buy and put on their gun.
It's either got to cover both sides and they both have to be hinged.
I think it only covers one, to be honest with you.
That's stupid.
Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I think it just covers one side. So it covers your so they're not stopping it from inadvertently hooking something. All they're doing is keeping your finger out of there. And that's...
I've been shooting guns since I was literally 9 years old. I'm 33 now, and never once have I had any problem with an inadvertent contact with a trigger because my dad taught me trigger discipline when I was 9 years old.
Yeah, there's absolutely completely no reason for this. I think it's one of the stupidest, or maybe they do. Maybe it does. I think it does come with both sides.
But it has to, otherwise it's completely pointless.
Yeah, it looks like it does.
Yeah, it does.
So, but still, that's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Like, what's the point? I don't understand their reasoning behind this. Other than to say that trigger discipline isn't important. Now you can just rely on this. So what happens when you switch to another gun that doesn't have it on it, and now you're all sorts of messed up?
Yeah, that's retraining into a bad habit.
Exactly. If you just train the way that you're supposed to freaking do it, you're not ever going to have any issues. I think it's a ridiculous.
How much is that piece of shit?
Let me see.
I want to buy it just so I can rip it on the internet.
$70.
What?
Yep.
Good Lord.
$70, and all it is basically a chunk of plastic with a spring in it. I mean, it's a hinged chunk of plastic. There's an upper part and a lower part, a spring, and two pins and screws in it.
No, thank you.
$70. Yep, that's really what I freaking want. Something
honestly,
between me and my trigger.
I'm surprised they're still in business. I did hear about that thing like last year sometime. I'm surprised they're still around.
I can't imagine they're going to last very long.
They can't. Maybe they're at SHOT. We should see them at SHOT. Did you the ATF has a booth at SHOT?
I showed him that.
Sense.
I showed him that last night, and he's like, "I might go talk to him." I was like, "I've talked to enough ATF agents this year. I don't really want to talk to them."
No, I
anymore.
actually have some questions.
And since I said that, I didn't talk to ATF agents for gun-related reasons. It was for a shooting.
Yeah, he's going to
It
prison.
was for a shooting I happened to witness in 2012 that finally went to trial, and they were going to make me go down to Kansas City and testify. And turns out it actually went to a plea deal, so I didn't have to do it. Thank God.
But I actually have quite a few questions for him.
Why not? Why not call him then?
Well, you can, but I figured if they're down at SHOT, it's just a pain in the ass because it seems like every time that you call them, it depends who you talk to, you get totally different answers. Like,
well, it's going to be the same shit at the booth.
Yeah, probably. But so a while back, I had a question on mailing firearms, and so the deal is you can mail rifles with USPS, but if you're a civilian without an FFL, you cannot mail pistols at all. You just can't use USPS. You have to use FedEx or UPS. But FFLs can mail them FFL to FFL, no problem, no issues, completely legal. It even states that in the ATF guidelines. So I called them up, and I was talking to this lady about it, and mentioned it, and she's like, "No, you cannot mail pistols at all, period." And at this point, I'm just like, "You don't know what the fuck you're talking about? Okay, sure, yes, ma'am, okay, thank you," and hang up because she's clearly fucking wrong. It says it right there in the ATF guidelines. It says it's on the freaking USPS website. I know for 100% fact that she's wrong, and it's just frustrating that you get ATF agents that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they give you wrong information. Like, how are we supposed to follow the law when you don't even freaking know the law? And the people that we go to, you are supposed to tell us, but you don't have a clue. Like, it's beyond frustrating. And this is a common occurrence in this industry. We'll try to figure out, on the gun groups, our Cerakote groups and stuff. We'll have these conversations, and everybody's ATF agent tells them different shit, different information. It's like
it needs to be abolished.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just beyond ridiculousness. If you're an ATF agent, you damn well better know the laws, and you damn well better tell us the laws, because if I get in trouble because an ATF agent told me the wrong damn information, whose fault is it? It ain't mine, because the ATF told me the wrong information. Just frustrating. I hate it. So yeah, I guess I don't know how we got on that subject of the ATF being in
that was my
Box
fault.
brought it up. Yep, it's his
Damn
fault.
it, Box.
Everything's Box's fault.
Damn it.
It's not my fault you can't control yourself.
That was a controlled rant. We haven't done 60 seconds. We only did 60 seconds with Sam that one time, didn't
You
we?
totally just said we haven't done sex. And then you recanted and said seconds.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
We haven't done 60 seconds with Sam in a while. For the record, we don't do sex with Sam. That's just fucking weird.
Really, nobody does.
You shut it.
That's why we're going to Vegas. I've set aside $30 to buy each of you a prostitute.
Oh, you're so generous.
I know. They're going to be high quality.
Don't lie. That's $30 for you.
I'm in a relationship. My girlfriend would not like that.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Not if it's an STD.
Herpes don't. So have you guys seen that new, actually I just saw this yesterday, the PSA Palmetto State Armory, if you guys aren't familiar. I would recommend not looking up their website because they have all sorts of affordable deals all the time, and you're going to spend a lot of freaking money on there.
Yeah, but the shipping sucks.
Yeah, it's hit or miss. Anyway, this PSA JAKL, it is a, what it is, it's a non-reciprocating
Bufferless.
AR upper. It fits on a normal AR lower. So you don't have to have a buffer tube on it. You can put like a SIG. You could put like a a SIG brace or
The
whatever
one they
the hell
showed
you want on there.
had that SIG brace, and it was damn sexy looking gun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really interested, and I really would like to buy one, but kind of depends on how much they want for just the upper.
Yeah, and I would bet. If I had to put a bet on it, I would say between $500 and $600 for an upper.
If it's $600, I'll still buy it.
It's palmetto. I'll bet if it's just the upper, I'll bet it's like $400.
If it's $400,
maybe.
I'll buy 2.
Well, it depends what length they come in. That one looked like a pistol length.
It did,
Yeah.
yeah.
Didn't
And
it?
they had that brace on it. So
Right.
I noticed he was shouldering that, and I've been unclear. On
It was
shouldering.
inadvertent.
Is that the claim? Inadvertent shouldering?
Well, the ATF. Once again, we're back to these sons of bitches. I'm just kidding. I love you, ATF. They.
I don't think they give a shit what you think of them, Sam.
They clarified their statement on braces a while back, and said that if you buy it for the sole reason of shouldering it, you're intending on creating an SBR, and therefore it would be illegal. But if you just use it as intended as a brace or just cheek weld it, some inadvertent touching of the shoulder, some inadvertent shouldering is okay, as long as it's not the intended.
That the whole reasoning what you just described just tells me that the ATF doesn't give 2 fucks about an SBR. They just want the money from it.
100%.
I mean, that's just
Because at this point, the SBR laws are doing absolutely 100% nothing.
Let's stop talking about it.
Because you can buy everything you need to make an SBR, so there's absolutely nothing stopping you other than we're going to put you in prison for 10 years if we figure out you did it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to. Anyways, back to this JAKL. I've been looking at the Grand Power Strybog.
It does look awfully similar.
To what? To the Grand Power?
Yeah.
Oh, you saw it? Did I show you the JAKL thing?
I've seen it.
Okay. So yeah, you can buy the Strybog for around $700-800. So if I can buy
I heard the Strybog mags are absolute garbage though. So I don't know if that contributes to feeding issues or that's just something I've heard. Not to be
well, and actually that. I haven't heard that. I've heard. I mean, they are proprietary. First try, but and they're about $25 a piece. So they're not the best things in the world.
Jesus, my PMR 30 mags are $30 a piece.
Yeah, but the other thing is we're kind of comparing apples to oranges at this point because it's a 9mm compared to the JAKL. I assume is a 223 or 5.56 probably. So it's almost apples to oranges. I guess I really want to. I'll probably just get both. Screw it. And let's be honest here, because they're different. I mean, different calibers. The Strybog is going to be a hell of a lot cheaper to. Well, not a hell of a lot anymore, but fairly cheaper to shoot.
Speaking of 9mm, did you see that Magpul came out with a drum mag, 9mm drum mag?
I did.
Ooh, and
I really want to find out if that'll work in a Chris Vector.
I
I just realized I'm talking really far away from the mic, so if you guys couldn't hear me for a lot of that, I'm sorry.
No, you're
been
fine. Talk again, Toad.
Hello, Sam.
He's
It's
fine.
good to see you.
Toad's not fine. He's he's a decent looking guy, but
You know what FINE stands for?
no.
I have a feeling I don't want to know.
Are you going to want any more of this?
Freaked out, neurotic, insecure, and emotional.
Sure. Are you going to want any more of this?
No, Sam, by all means, drink the rest of the moonshine. Box and I had the equivalent of a shot between the two of us, and you drank the rest of the quart jar.
It's a pint jar. Don't lie. What was I saying anyways?
Toad was talking about Magpul's new drum mag.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
right.
want to know if it'll work in my Vector.
Is your Vector a 17 round?
Yes. It
Well,
came standard with a 17
If you
Glock
buy a
mag.
drum mag for a Glock 17, it should be fine.
Ooh,
I don't see why it wouldn't work.
I don't either. Maybe I'll do some research on that.
You know what? Magpul also just released pistol braces.
Yes, I'm less than impressed.
Yeah, they don't look very
Wait,
good at
A
all.
pistol brace?
Yeah.
Right.
Like turning your pistol into basically an
No.
SBR? Or...
No, it's just like the
Well,
shockwave.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
the shockwave brace.
Yeah.
You know what the shockwave brace is.
Mhm.
So it's almost, it looks very similar to them, but
It doesn't. I wouldn't say it looks similar to them. They just look like garbage, to be honest.
yeah, well,
They don't have the.
it's the same idea as this shockwave. But the thing that I don't like is they put the QD mount right in the back end of it.
What?
Yep, the QD
For
mount.
real? Directly on the back?
Is directly on the back.
Isn't that where you put your QD mount?
No, I
No, he
mean
means
like directly
on the butt.
on the butt, on
Oh.
the very back. So the idea behind it is when you're holding it out, you know,
Well,
you're gonna
that part makes kind of sense, I guess.
except when you're inadvertently shouldering it, then you have a QD mount in the way. Because let's be honest. If you're using this gun as a like say a home defense or it's in your truck as a truck gun and you run into a situation where you need it, why in tarnation would you ever not shoulder it but hold it out in front of you like this? That's the stupidest thing on the planet. You were gonna, if there's a threat that's gonna take your life, I don't give a shit what the ATF says. That's the dumbest thing on the planet. And
We love you, ATF.
you know, it makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, I hear you.
So it's just frustrating that
Are both of them that way? They released 2 of them.
I can't say for sure. All I saw was the mount on one of them. I would assume they're both that way. Who knows? But yeah, I was less than impressed with them. SB Tactical pretty much has cornered the market on the braces at this point. They're pretty much giving what everybody wants.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny. Like last week, me and a guy at work were talking about it. He's been wanting to build an AR pistol. He's like, I know as soon as I go and buy some other pistol brace, Magpul's probably going to release their own pistol brace at shot. And then I think it was the next day I looked at my phone. I was like, hey, guess what? Magpul released their pistol braces.
Yeah.
I just thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. The nice thing about the most pistol braces are, you know, they're sub 100 except for the PDW. So, you know, if you want to get even the SBA 3, you can find it for under $100 on sales and stuff. So right now that's pretty much the gold standard for pistol braces, the SBA 3. It looks just like a normal stock, but it's just a brace. So pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I know that's neat because the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy, there's
So-
a lot of silence in this podcast, boys.
Have you guys heard of any other shit coming out of Vegas that you're going to want to look at?
A couple,
I have, but I'm blanking.
yeah, a couple of the knife groups I follow have some stuff I want to check out. Steel Wheel Knives has a new knife out that looked pretty badass. I want to go see if I can copy it.
How's your knife making going, anyways?
Actually, really good. Did you see the set, the kitchen knife and Skinner set I made for Tim?
Yeah, I think you showed it to me. I guess I don't really recall.
It turned out really good. I'll show you a picture.
Fingering it out, eh?
Yeah, it's a pain in the nuts. I mean, it was a lot of trial and error, and it's so damn cold right now that
Oh yeah, it looks like a pretty nice set.
yeah, we actually used the Skinner on a couple of deer, and it stayed sharp the whole time.
Nice.
That's pretty neat.
So, but yeah, I haven't done a lot lately just because it's cold and my
Shop is not insulated.
correct. I'm pretty sure it was built sometime prior to 1940, and yeah, there's zero insulation in there.
Yeah.
I actually did. I threw some mouse poison out in there here about 2 weeks ago, and I hadn't really been in. My shop is my garage. It's detached from my house by a lot at the farm, and I went in there and I was like, "Oh, there's a dead mouse. Oh, there's another dead mouse. Oh God, there's another one. There's another one. There's like 14 dead deer mice in there. Deer mice are the tan and white ones, the bigger ones."
Mm-hmm.
And I went over and I had a bucket of bait just sitting in the corner, and I just left the lid off because I was like, screw it. They'd eaten it down probably 3 inches. They'd eaten so much bait. So I'm pretty sure there's no mice left on my farm.
Need a kitty.
I had 2, but the coyotes ate them.
So Toad, You want to pull up your? We're already on to your segment. If you want.
Oh boy, we got an exciting one.
In a boat, time traveling with Joe.
Oh, it's just glorious every time.
It's so annoying.
Sorry, I'm still figuring out the sound effects. It was a little bit. I had to turn it down with the last one, and then I forgot to turn it back up.
All right, kids. Today on Time Traveling with Toad, we're going to talk about a little-known firearm called the .475 Wildy Magnum. This is a semi-automatic pistol designed for hunting. Now, the .475 there was a .44 Automag, Wildy made, a .45 Winchester Magnum, a .45 Wildy Magnum, and a .475 Wildy Magnum. Now, I had never heard of this gun until I read about it in a book, but I had seen it. Charlie Bronson used it in Death Wish 3, the movie, and it was actually his personal firearm. He was a big fan of them, apparently. It's originated in the USA. Designer is Winchester. Designed originally in 1977, produced from 1984 to the present. Its parent case is actually a .284 Winchester rifle round. It generates the same muzzle energy at 100 yards as a .44 Magnum. And, excuse me, these things are just goofy looking. Like, if you want to Google it, go ahead and Google it. I'll tell you how to spell it. It's a Wildey and then Magnum. Now, they were designed, like I said, primarily for the hunting market. They've been used in a few movies, apparently. But I was just watching a video on a guy shooting this thing last night, and it's freaking nuts. Like, this handgun looks like it should not function. To me, it looks like it was put together poorly, but apparently they're put together amazingly well. And they're just goofy because you've got this big blocky main section frame and everything, and then they came in various barrel lengths, obviously, but then this barrel with this big riser rib on the top. He's shooting pumpkins with it. They are just obliterating. So I wanted to see how much this gun would cost new. So I went to their website, and the website for it is, hold on a second, USA Firearms Corporation. Now, these things apparently, by the looks of it, are basically built to order. So I selected a caliber, and for the .44 Automag, the .45 Winchester Magnum, and the .475 Wildy Magnum, they're all base model is $2,750.
Cheap.
Yeah. It's called the Bronson gun because they did use it in the Death Wish movies. But I want to show you guys a picture of it. Because it looks weird. That's the Wildy .475 Magnum.
That's actually pretty sweet looking.
It looks almost like some weird space
It's a combination between a Walther and a Buckmark or something almost.
Sort of, yeah. The other thing I think
that's odd.
I said the other thing I think they did was they had an interchangeable barrel system, I believe. I couldn't find anything on that, but I swear I read that somewhere. But yeah, it's just a unique gun you don't hear a lot of. I've never seen one in person. Probably because they're almost $3,000.
Well, probably, and they're made to order. You generally don't see.
But apparently, hunting, as far as like semi-automatic, because there's not very many semi-auto hunting pistols. They're mostly revolvers, like the Ruger Red, or the .44 Magnums. But apparently, as far as hunting pistols go, they're one of the best. I guess they just have devastating energy.
Interesting.
Plus, I mean, you've always got that quick follow-up shot, but I feel like a .475 that the parent case was a .284 Winchester probably has enough oomph. You're not going to want to shoot it all that many times.
You're probably right. What's it called again?
It's a .475 Wildy Magnum. Wildey.
.475. Interesting. Huh. So, and they're almost $3,000 just for the gun.
$2,750.
I'm sure they're real cheap to shoot too.
For the base model, you pretty much, I think you have to order your ammo from them, because at the bottom of the order form, there's an option for how much ammo you also want to order.
Oh, interesting. Can't buy it at Shields, huh?
new.
No more at Walmart. Speaking of that stupid Walmart bullshit, I was I was in there the other day, and they stopped selling basically ammo that works in ARs and assault rifles. So they stopped selling 223, 5.56. They don't sell 9mm anymore because that works in semi-auto guns. But they still sell 308. I'm like, do you stupid sons of bitches not know that an AR-10 is a hell of a lot more devastating than just an AR-15? It's five less ARs. I don't know. It just that cracked me up. Just completely ridiculous that they still sell frickin' 308, but yeah, whatever. Box, you ready to go over there?
Sure.
That is the baddest son of a bitch I have ever seen. Ever. Yeah, it's the baddest dude of the week.
Yeah.
All right. I always forget that part at the end of that and start talking. Anyways, this week's baddest dude of the week, his name is Leo Major. He is a Canadian. He was in World War II. And he was boy, I'm stuttering the shit out of this one already, huh? Anyways, he took part of D-Day.
Took part in D-Day?
Yeah, well, he helped storm the beaches on D-Day. And on that day, this is just the very beginning part of his career. He, just out of nowhere, he managed to overtake a German armored tank himself and killed like 4 of the Germans, armored vehicles, sorry, not a tank. And then a few weeks later, some German soldier threw a grenade at him, a phosphorus grenade, and it exploded up and real close to him, and it didn't do much other than he lost virtually all sight in his left eye, and they wanted to send him home, but he was like, no, because he was a sniper. He was like, no, I still have my right eye. That's all I need to be a sniper. And he was actually really good with just his one eye, which, yeah, why wouldn't you be? But anyways, he kept fighting through that and into the Netherlands, and he was taking part in the Battle of Scheldt, I believe is how you say it. I'm not sure, where they were just trying to clear Germans from the coastal areas of the Netherlands. So there was the Battle of Scheldt. The Scheldt was a river, so they were trying to clear the German forces out around that. And so one night, this guy, there was canals around there too. I'm not sure how all this. I couldn't get real in depth with this. I don't know why there wasn't very many details on this and the layout of it and everything. But during one night, he jumped into the canals and swam. I don't know how far he ended up swimming, but he swam into the German base. And there was 93 guys in there, 93 German guys in there. And he found the commander's tent while he was sleeping. He went in there. The commander woke up, and this dude was just like standing there in his tent. He was like, okay, well, you're my hostage now. So then he takes this guy hostage, takes him over into this other barracks or whatever the hell it was, where these other 93 Germans were. And they're like, okay, well, we surrender. So this guy single-handedly made 93 Germans surrender himself on this night. And then a few weeks later, they were traveling around and they came upon this city called Zwolle, I believe is how you say it. And they were the Canadians. This guy's Canadian, if I didn't mention that. They were on the outskirts of this town, and they were trying to. It was overcame with Germans. There was 50,000 people in this town or something like that, and there was Germans that overran it. There was several hundred of them in there, I think, that had control of the city. So he was a sniper, and him and his spotter were sent to do recon into that city or something like that. And on their way in there, his spotter had gotten killed. And instead of turning around and going back to base or whatever, he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do my own thing. So he ended up doing kind of the same thing that he had did before. And he took these guys hostage, and he made them think I'm not sure if it was Commander that he got a hold of right away or not, but he found him and he convinced him. He was like, okay, yeah, just so you know, we have this whole city surrounded. There's going to be a massive Canadian invasion, and you're all going to be fucked, essentially. And then he gave this guy back his gun, like in a show of good faith. So then that guy went and told all the rest of the Germans. They're like, yeah, apparently there's a massive invasion coming. So, and obviously the rest of the Canadians, they weren't planning on actually invading that night. This was all over the course of 12 hours or something like that. So that guy the German goes and tells all these soldiers that there's a massive invasion coming. And so he had to go and convince all these Germans that there was a bunch of Canadians around. So he was running through these streets with a bunch of grenades, just throwing grenades all over and screaming and stuff and shooting his machine guns everywhere. And eventually all those the Germans ended up surrendering just because this one guy was running through the streets with grenades and machine guns and had lied to them about there being.
So he's basically batshit crazy.
Yeah, you could say that.
Interesting.
I know I did an awful job of narrating that, but you come to expect that of me, I believe.
It's okay, Box. It's still entertaining.
Yeah, yeah. So is this? When was this? What war was this in?
World War II. This was in, 45.
Yeah. Well, I figure since from the upcoming World War III, there's going to be a lot more good stories. You know, any day, Iran is going to invade any day now. So we'll get some good stories from that.
What a douche!
So this our what a douche segment. I don't know. Like it's not something like our usual douche segments generally is. But so this one is a deaf man is suing Pornhub over lack of closed captions.
Huh. What kind of captioning do you want, dude?
Moaning. Oh, yeah.
Moaning.
So it says a deaf man from New York is suing Pornhub because the videos on the company websites do not have closed captions. He claims that Pornhub's in violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act and is seeking compensatory.
Jesus Christ.
I'm done trying. I'm done. I'm going to send you back to remedial English class.
Civil penalties and fines against the pornographic video sharing site. He listed several videos on the site that did not include captions. So basically, this guy's pissed that that they don't add closed captioning to their porn videos.
It makes me wonder what kind of porn he's watching. Is he watching for the story?
Well, you know,
I love the ones with the story.
Some guys got to get into the story.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. But
do you guys remember the movie I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell?
Oh yeah.
He had that list of girls he wanted to sleep with, and he was with that deaf chick, and she was really screaming, and they thought somebody was being hurt. So they broke down the door. Like she's like, "No, I'm deaf." Just. Oh,
been a long time since I've seen that movie.
That's a good one.
So yeah, that guy's he's pissed because they don't include cap. Which I guess, you know, I mean, I don't think I would sue them over it, but it would be kind of irritating. You know, you couldn't.
Dude, a lady sued McDonald's over a cup of hot coffee. Well,
yeah, but like, I mean, say the pizza man goes to the door. You don't know what he's saying when he shows up. How did he woo her into bed? You know, how did it happen? Some guys need that storyline to complete the experience. I don't know. I'm just going to flow.
I'm extremely disappointed in you.
When was the last time you actually saw a video where that was the premise of the video, of a pizza guy delivering food?
The last one I saw.
Can't say that I recall a single one.
There was a hole in the pizza box. That was probably about 10 years ago.
Was he holding it vertically?
He was sitting down, actually.
Oh. He pulled the old popcorn trick
that's what
on,
I was
did he?
going to say. He pulled the old popcorn trick with a pizza box.
But pizza boxes are only like 2 inches thick, man.
Well,
I don't know. The fat kid in me was like, God damn it, they ruined a perfectly good pizza.
That's what
You
you're
don't
upset
Nobody
about.
wants to eat that. now.
Maybe he ate it first.
No, the pizza was in there.
He just took a slice out. Take your
New
pick.
subject. So is there any cool things you guys want to see while we're out at SHOT Show, outside of SHOT Show, like in Vegas? I know, Sam, you've been there before, but I don't think Box and I have.
The Adult Entertainment Expo is there.
I think that's the very following week.
No, it's the same week.
Is it?
Yep.
I did.
Jeez, I'm gonna have to edit that
That makes
out.
me jump.
Sorry, that hurt my hand. I did read that they do that on purpose.
Probably.
And they said that most of the porn stars that you meet in the bar will be like the D-list porn stars of the porn world. They said the more famous ones don't go out and do that.
Well, probably not.
And I don't want to seem like that time when you were out in Colorado and you met that porn star in the bar.
Yeah. Her name was Jordan something. I can't remember her last name.
But you remember the herpes.
No, I didn't partake. But then I saw a Gun Funny posted this thing. There's a there's a swingers meetup for SHOT Show if you guys are interested in that.
I think you, Box, and Jimmy the Tulip should go just for shits and giggles.
No, do you know how awkward that would be? That'd be the weirdest thing ever. They said there's no check-in. We don't want to make everybody awkward, so just come on in. It's like, all right, this is interesting.
I feel like that's just a cesspool of
Herpes,
gonorrhea, herpes, and HPV and HIV and everything else.
Probably. So I think I've touched on this same subject the last 4 times in a row, but I obviously want to bring it up again. Still, what's happening in Virginia still going on, and it only seems to be getting worse. Some of the bullshit they're pulling out there. They said the Virginians tried to start a recall. So basically, overturn the election, and if enough of them sign on to it, then they can have another election or whatever. Well, so what Democrats did was they just introduced a law to double the amount of signatures they needed for that, and have the amount of time that they have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So just complete bullshit like that. But tomorrow, it's actually tomorrow, January 20th is when they're doing the gun rights rally, and they've the governor illegally declared a state of emergency and banned guns on the Capitol grounds, which is completely unconstitutional. They've even passed a law that said he can't do that. And the only time you can declare a state of emergency with a gun-free zone is if it is a sheltering people. So he says, well, the Capitol's a shelter for the lawmakers. We can't have guns around here. So it's, all the stuff they're pulling is just blatantly unconstitutional. So the reason I bring this up is get involved in your state. Get involved with Virginia. Join the VC, the gun rights group out there. I think I'm going to send them some money just to help out a little bit, because if this works in Virginia, don't you think for a second that they're not going to do the exact same thing in your state? And even if you are, we're completely. The Republicans control all three, the Senate and the House and the governorship in Iowa, but don't think for a second in 2020 that can be overturned, and then we could be faced with the same situation. So get involved. Make sure who you're giving your money to is legit gun lobbying groups. There is quite a few out there that are nothing but scams, especially Iowa gun owners. Aaron Dorr, he's since branched into I think it's Missouri Firearms Coalition, Missouri gun owners, or Minnesota gun owners, I believe.
That's his brother.
There's Ben Dorr. So anything that Ben Dorr, Chris Dorr, or Aaron Dorr is involved in, it's a bullshit scam. He's out in New York right now. They will do nothing for you but lie and take your money and not accomplish a goddamn thing, and blow smoke up your ass and tell you that they're doing something for you. So do not get involved with them, and just make sure that you're checking out all these gun groups that you're giving money to. If you have any further questions about that, feel free to give me a shout. I've been kind of paying attention the last few years what's going on in that whole deal. So
Actually, a friend of ours is out in Virginia right now. She's a competitive shooter. And I talked to her a little bit yesterday. She is going to be at SHOT Show on Thursday. Maybe we could talk to her a little bit about that.
Who's that?
Christina Baker.
Okay.
Sis, I know you drank more than me last night because I told you all about it.
No, I remember. I recall that, but I don't know as if I know her.
She worked at the gun store here in town before you did?
Oh, I only met her like once or twice, I think.
Oh, well. Anyway, maybe if she's up to it. She was on, the NRA had her on the front page of their news deal. She was the one holding the sign that said, "I'm a nurse, I save lives, let me protect mine."
Mm-hmm.
And so she's going to be out there on Thursday, so maybe we can
give her a shout.
Get a few words from her and see what her take on the situation is. She's going to be at the Capitol tomorrow and whatnot in Virginia.
We'll give her a shout, see if we can get a hold of her while we're out there.
Yep.
Set up a meeting with her or something and do a little interview and get her take on it. But anyways, the moral of the story is stay involved, stay informed. Don't let something like this happen in your state. And give any aid to Virginia that you possibly can, because they need all the help they can get at this point. So, that's about all I got, fellers, on that subject.
What else we got?
I think we're fresh out. It's a short episode today. We're only just under an hour, but that's all right. It's the one right before Vegas, so we're gonna have a lot of content coming, or that's already probably came through. Box, you haven't said anything for a while. Do you got any?
You've been talking about Virginia for 10 minutes now.
It was only like 5.
You said,
excuse me.
You said Virginia.
Yeah, I don't talk good.
Forgot the R.
I think we're just going to rename this podcast Grammatical Errors. And I guess every time anybody says anything wrong, everybody else jumps down their throat.
It's because it's funny.
Sons of bitches.
You did say proprietary correctly the first time. I'm really proud of you. That was a big word for you.
Thank you. I've been practicing.
We need a bulletin board where he gets gold stars for saying.
Yes. Right. We should totally do that. Just hang it right up here next to the John Wick poster.
You guys are pricks. Hey, where did those frames go?
Over here.
They're right behind box.
One other thing. We've said this before on the podcast, I think last episode. We did get a hold of Ryan Reynolds signed photos. We just purchased these. They're legit. We do have a certificate of authenticity to go with it. So, totally legit. That's going to be auctioned off with the gun on February 22nd. If you're interested in donating or helping out to the cause, give us a shout. I have had several people sending us stuff to go with it. It's greatly appreciated. If you don't know what it is, it's for 3-year-old Landon. He's got cerebral palsy. He's going in for his 5th surgery. Trying to raise money on a silent auction benefit for to help out with medical bills for his family. So that's what we're doing there. If you got any questions about that, feel free to give us a shout. But yeah, we're still trying to get a hold of old Ryan, but that's not happened so far. We've got several irons in the fire, so definitely hoping it's going to happen. But we got the backup just in case. So yeah, but. Well, fellas, do we got anything else we want to cover while we're still on episode 21, or should we call her
I don't know. Do you want to take bets on whether or not Box throws up on the plane?
You think he'll throw up in the plane, Box?
No.
Yeah, I'll take a no.
What if I put eye drops in his beer?
Oh, that's cheating.
That's
a real dick move.
That's brutal. I've seen that before, and you get violently ill. Phelps tried to do that to me one time, and they made him drink it, and he about died. They ended up calling poison control. They were so concerned for him. I was like, well, shouldn't have done that, should you, buddy?
Yeah, that's probably like a Class A felony or Class D felony.
Poisoning somebody?
Poisoning Box. Yeah, Toad, why can't you own guns anymore? I tried to make Box shit himself.
Yeah, but anyways, guys, thanks for sticking around. Go check out all our other content. By the time this comes out, we'll have some of that released from Vegas. We'll be going live a lot and doing stories and videos and all photos and all sorts of good stuff. So, yeah, we appreciate you sticking around, guys. And till we talk to you next time, remember, life's short, live free, and God bless you guys.